The book that I'm talking about today can easily be found in a lot of the top 10 fly fishing book lists. And so if you've been reading fly fishing works for any length of time, you're not going to be surprised by this. This is not a diamond in the rough, but this could be a new book for you. And if you have read it, maybe you read it even 60 years ago, then still where the conversation is going to go will lead you to finding some potentially new and exciting fly fishing writing that is worth reading. We'll talk about that as well as this book today on Casting Across. Hi, I'm Matthew of castingacross.com, where I explore the quarry and culture of fly fishing. John Voelker was an associate justice on the Michigan Supreme Court, and along with fulfilling those duties in his spare time, he was a writer. He wrote about crime, and he wrote about the outdoors. And perhaps the most famous of his outdoors work is the fly fishing book, Trout Madness. It came out in 1960, and it is a wonderful example of that glorious subgenre in fly fishing of the personal anecdote and the river reflections. And so what you have in here is nearly 24 stories of being out on the water, in which he waxes poetical about his observations of nature. He talks about how he caught the fish, and he interjects with a lot of humor, and it's all written so very well. One of my favorite things about this after spending time in the Midwest is that this is a great snapshot of what being outdoors and fly fishing looked like in the middle of the 20th century. Not that I was there to see it, but it's just fun to read a good and really entertaining account of fly fishing in that place at that time. Now, this is not the 1960 edition. This is actually a reprint from the early 1990s. Before his passing, he passed away in 1991. He asked for a series of 5 of his books to be reprinted together, and this comes from that set. It's actually a really, really handsome binding and edition. There's plenty more to be found, paperbacks and older versions, of course. I like this one. I had promised more fly fishing writing. Well, that's because after his death in 1994, the Voelker Foundation decided to create a award in his honor to be given to those who write in a similar vein to John Voelker, or, as it were, Robert Traver, which was his pseudonym for some of these works. And so consequently, that award is called the Robert Traver Fly Fishing Writing Award. And from 1994 onward, it has been given to folks who write with this idea of the philosophical, joyful perspective on fly fishing, as well as natural world observations and a little bit of humor. In 2018, this award was kind of jointly given out with the American Museum of Fly Fishing, and something very cool exists that ever since then, you can go back on the American Museum of Fly Fishing's website and you can find the winners of this award as well as the runners-up. It's also printed in their journal on an annual basis, but you can find a lot of these essays on the AMFF website. And so I would definitely encourage you to check it out. It'll give you exposure to authors that don't just write there, but have been published or have been featured in other magazines, and it is genuinely good, entertaining writing. So my encouragement to you, if you have not read this book, read this book. Read Traver Voelker's other works as well. And then go to the AMFF website to check out the essays that have come from the award winners and runners-up for the Robert Traver Fly Fishing Writing Award. It's a lot of fun, and it's also fun to poke around on the AMFF website just in general. Well, is there a Robert Traver book that you think is better than this one? Is there a John Voelker book that you think is better than this one? Kind of a trick question, but let me know in the comments below. Then head over to castingacross.com for 3 posts a week on the people, places, and things that go in the pursuit of fish.